So I watched this earlier, and wow. Um, I would honestly say that this is probably the best Marvel movie that I've seen since Endgame. I mean, the amount of the bashing and the trash talk against Disney on this, man, this really feels like a comic book fan made this movie, man. I have some minor complaints which we're gonna get into, but overall, man, I'd say probably 8 out of 10. I mean, it was really fucking good. Um, the cameos, uh, the stuff they showed on there. I mean, I was not expecting this to be this good, honestly. Like, I might watch this a couple more times. It was pretty fucking good, man. Like, I was not expecting this to. I thought it was gonna be like woke garbage or some crap. The last Deadpool movie wasn't bad either, but boy, this one, man. I mean, they're cussing all over the place. They're the gore and the action, and man, it was. I don't know why we had to wait this long since Endgame to get a movie like this, but man. All right, so I'm gonna get into the spoilers now. So if you haven't seen this, I would suggest coming back after you've seen this because I would recommend that you watch this. It is pretty fucking good, man. Um, let's get into my gripes here. I want to see if they show the villain on here. Jeez, come on. The villain is this. Okay, warning. Like it says, there's spoilers. Okay, this person. This was the worst part of the movie for me. Was this idiot? It, it, this villain had no real meaning or plot story or anything. It just the villain, they botched the villain on this. That's my only real big complaint about it is this villain just sucks. So this villain is supposed to be a female Professor X or Charles Xavier, and okay, if you've seen the Loki show, this is basically the Loki show with Deadpool. It's the same premise. Instead of them recruiting Loki again, they're recruiting Deadpool. And there's this rogue guy that works at the time management people or whatever those company people were that were on Loki that are trying to manipulate and control time or whatever. There's this rogue guy on there, and he's pissed off because they won't promote him or help him in his job or anything. So he gets mad and he recruits Deadpool because Deadpool's world, for some reason, it's dying. They don't really explain it too well. They just show like this string thing of time, and then they say this thing about certain people are anchors to their worlds, and if this anchor person dies to their world and their world goes down like a ship, it dies for some reason. I don't know. That wasn't a very good plot. I mean, it's just so they recruit Deadpool, and then he's like, "Well, I'm not going to let my world die." And then he's like, "Well, you have to kill your world; it's dying and all this." So then he takes the guy's little iPad thing, and he's going through different realities or something, and he's trying to recruit Wolverine, and he's meeting all these different Wolverines. And dude, I mean, when they show all of those different Wolverines, man, I was like, holy fuck, it is straight out of the fucking comics, man. I mean, they show the Wolverine in Japan with the black suit. They show I forget what issue it is or what Wolverine book it was, but the one where he's fighting Hulk and you can see Hulk in the Wolverine's blades. They actually have uh, a tiny Wolverine that's like how it should have been if it was based off the comics, like a more realistic Wolverine, like he's not like this tall guy in the comics. And that was like, wow, man. I mean, the amount of cameos and stuff they show on there is just awesome, man. And they go through so much comic book lore and stuff on there. You're just like, wow, this is just. Besides that, we see people. So basically, if I had to sum this up, this where that Charles Xavier chick is. So the time management people created a world called the Void. And basically, they stuck all the shitty Marvel characters in there. All the shitty Marvel movies that tanked. Like, they got Elektra in there from the shitty Daredevil. Oh, they had Gambit on there, too. Channing Tatum is Gambit. And you can't understand what the fuck he's saying most of the time. It's just hilarious. I don't understand why they had Wesley Snipes as Blade in there, because Blade was pretty fucking good. So it seemed kind of weird to me that they're like, oh, well, we're gonna take all the shitty people, all the shitty Marvel characters and put them in this world that we don't want in our good one. So it's like, okay. Oh, they got Captain America as Johnny Storm on there, which is pretty good too. Man, there was like so much good stuff in this movie, man. Now, my other minor complaint about this, like I said, I have like very minor complaints about this movie. The fighting on here, the fighting on here is mostly stuff that's pointless. Like, I don't know why they did it like that. So I'd say a good portion of the movie is Wolverine fighting Deadpool because they hate each other. And then they try to work with each other again. And then Deadpool, the Wolverine pisses off Deadpool, and then they fight for another 20 minutes. And it's just pointless. They can't kill each other. It's just so pointless. And then toward the end, when they go to this guy here is the guy that's like, this is the guy that recruits Deadpool. So this is kind of like the second villain, I guess you would call it, that's trying to make a name for himself by killing Deadpool's world. But then Deadpool just double crosses him and goes and gets Wolverine. And so anyways, at the end, they're fighting this town of this scene here. There's a town of like all the alternate Deadpools. And they have every conceivable Deadpool that you can think of that's been in the comics, man. I mean, it was just crazy the amount. This movie is like insanely lore heavy. The only bad part about that is it's lore that's like multiverse stuff. That's like, why we couldn't have this in their regular worlds and stories, I don't know. But so towards the end, they're just fighting this huge army of Deadpools. And then Wolverine and the original Deadpool, they basically slice and dice them, man. You see arms flying off and everything and people dying. So they're going to walk away, and then it didn't occur to the original Deadpool that those Deadpools can regenerate. So they regenerate. So they're like, oh, fuck, we're not going to be able to kill these people. We're going to be fighting these people for fucking eternity. So the original X-Force person he had, I forget what his name is, that he doesn't have any powers. He's just like this dad guy with a mustache. He shows up on a bicycle and he's like, whoa, why are you fighting this Deadpool? And this guy here. This guy shows up at the end when all the Deadpools are fighting, and he's like, yo, why are you fighting this Deadpool? And they're like, oh, because the Professor X chick let us out of here, and she said we could fight them, and it's like, no, don't fight him. He's with us. So it just totally negated the whole fight. It just was like another. There's just a ton of pointless fights on here. That's the main problem with this, and it's mostly Wolverine fighting Deadpool, and then a bunch of Deadpools trying to kill them, and the other issue or problem I would say is the female Charles Xavier, she's like too powerful. She's like 1,000 times more powerful than the original Xavier. So they couldn't do nothing to her. They had the only thing they could do to her was get Juggernaut's helmet, which for some reason now blocks the mental capacity or whatever for her to do stuff. It just I don't know, just it's small plot holes, but overall I would say a very entertaining, a very funny movie, insanely lore heavy. Yeah, I would definitely watch it again. I just wish that the villain was better. And I wish there was like more meaningful fights and stuff on here. Like, I would say the only really good, impactful, meaningful fight on this is when Wolverine fights that alternate Sabretooth or whatever. Besides that, it's just Wolverine fighting Deadpool off and on because they're mad at each other, and then the other thing too is, let me see if it shows it on here. No, I don't see it here, but they had a Cyclops that was well, the Cyclops they showed, it wasn't as good as Olivia Munn, but it wasn't bad. Like, she looked like a I'd say like a more Indian version of Cyclops, more instead of an Asian one, but I guess she's supposed to be like a multiverse Cyclops or something. Oh, not showing it there. Let's see. Got a lot of pictures for this. I don't think they're going to show it on here. This is just a bunch of... No, I guess they're not going to show it on here. Oh, well. Damn it. Overall, I would, like I said, I'd give this an 8 out of 10. I'll definitely watch it again. I would go as far to say that out of all three of the Deadpool movies, that this is probably the definitive Deadpool movie. I mean, the comedy, the fighting, I mean, it's just awesome, man. It was just an awesome movie. They should have just had a better villain, though. Like, that's my real... If this had a better villain on there, I would probably go 9.5. It was just that the villain... I don't know why they went that route with that villain. Like, I think a better movie would have been is if they had an actual evil Charles Xavier, or hell, even Jean Grey as the Dark Phoenix in there. That would have been a lot better now that I think about it, if they had Jean Grey as Dark Phoenix on there running that world or whatever, and then Wolverine had to relive that trauma of having to kill Jean Grey again. But yeah, definitely go check this out, man. It's really fucking good. There's not really any woke shit in there. They're making gay jokes and stuff, but the funny thing is they bash the hell out of woke crap, man. That and Disney. I just absolutely love the Disney bashing and the woke bashing, and I can't remember what he said at that one part, but there was there's this part with this this gal comes on and she's saying the pronoun things or something, and he looks at the camera and he's like, "Okay, enough of this shit. Okay, you got your DEI points. We're trying to make a movie here." Then they cut back to the fucking movie. Yeah, I think this is gonna make some serious money though. Just very minor complaints. That's it. I could probably talk about this for another hour. I fucking love this movie, man. I mean, this movie, if I had to sum it up based on like the pop culture community, to me it felt like they did an interview with Nerdrotic, Doomcock. I don't know if I'd say Cucks and Gamers. I don't really care for them that much, but it felt like they asked the fans what they wanted, and then they realized they couldn't give it to them in the actual movie. So then they created this multiverse bullshit to give you what you want. And I would say 95% job done. I mean, it I just can't say enough about this fucking movie, man. All right, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. I'd say check it out. It's pretty fucking good. All right, let's do the get the outro ready here. All right, see you next time. Bye.